My family's not
I
home.
think it was okay. It wasn't awesome, but it
Yeah.
was
Well,
okay.
my family's not home, so they can't be taxing my internet, right?
Oh, are they out visiting grandparents again?
Yep. And it's green right now, and it's solid green the whole time.
All right.
So maybe the issue is that if they're home and they're online, which, you know, ostensibly they're always online. My
Yeah.
wife is reading Kindles, my daughter's reading, my daughter's watching YouTubes. So maybe that's the issue, in which case I'm still out of luck because I can't tell them not to do anything.
Right.
I'll be streaming with someone tonight, so please stay off of the internet. No, I don't think that'll work.
No, don't think they're gonna like that. They're gonna say, "Hey, I got an idea. How about not streaming with someone?"
You know what? That would be their go-to answer, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what they would probably do.
So tonight we're going to talk about prepping for tournaments. I did speak with Marichess, and she just came back from playing in Indianapolis. And she thinks I would like playing in tournaments down there. You know, that it's...
I have heard Indianapolis. I had not last year, 2019. Some guys were trying to get me to go down to Indianapolis and play. And
Okay.
I was like, nah, I don't.
And it was 20... I think she said it was 30-minute games,
Okay.
which isn't bad.
Yeah.
All right,
30
so
minutes
yeah.
to me would be hard for me. Yeah. I'm one of those, either I want to play fast chess or give me my time. The middle is hard for me because I can't find the right pace.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
or I either spend too much time or I'm blitzing. It's hard for me to get like rapid pace, so to speak. You know, you're like, okay, I can think, I have like two or three good things for the game, you know, and I gotta figure out when to use those. And the other, you know, I'm either in the mode of think or I'm in the mode of, you know, see what comes to mind, some quick thinking, you know, calculating, but it's move.
Yep.
Uh,
No, I understand. So Noah is our first chatter today. Congratulations, Noah. Jordan is my friend, as you see here. How old were you when I first taught you or messed with chess, teaching you chess?
um,
14, 15?
Yeah, it was, well, let's see, it was 2002, I believe, 2001.
Wow.
2001. Because you just came to the area, and that's when you started the Niles Chess Club, and we went there because you got us some rated games because we were going to Chicago Open in May on Memorial Weekend. So Scott, Jeff, my brother, and I went there, and you held a tournament for us to get us like a rating, start with the rating thing, and get us used to that type of play. You know, like rated play, writing moves down, hitting clocks, all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I was about 15 then. Yeah, 15.
Wow.
20
Wow.
years.
Few years. 15 years old. Makes me feel really old. So,
It's never me that feels old. It's every like kids and everyone around that makes you feel old. You know.
yes.
It's never like. It's like I have a birthday, like, oh, you feel old. It's like, nah, I feel like the same as
Yeah.
whatever. But then you're like, oh, I have a kid who's 10, or I have a kid who's 5, you know, like.
Yep. Yep. Ratchet says hello. Hello, Ratchet, to you too. But I don't know. Are you teaching? You were teaching chess, weren't you, to kids? I got asked a question. Are you also a teacher?
Oh, not really. I mean, I taught a bit some years ago, but there were a couple adults, couple kids, never really anything too serious. Yeah, I would not classify me as a coach or a teacher.
There you go.
Like that.
But Jordan and I had decided probably about a year ago or more to work together to prep for tournaments because I needed somebody, he needed somebody, and so our plan is for us to work together, preparing for matches and tournaments. And Sudakus, he's always on me. He says, "When are you going to play? I went to nationals in Vegas. When are you going to play?" So I always feel like I got to get back to it. But Jordan and I were meeting once a week before COVID, and we would meet online. which was a rarity, something new. Hey, Jams, but now because of COVID, it's normal, and I've usurped our time. We usually met on Tuesdays, and now I'm streaming on Tuesdays until school starts. I'll go back to Mondays, and then either Jordan and I can take back up on Tuesdays, or maybe he'll slide over and do Mondays with me. But the problem is, streaming 5 days a week, Jordan, and family, and writing books, and oh my gosh, and I have a full-time job, as does Jordan now. Jordan, I started working with him at 15, and now he has 2 children. And how old are they?
Oh, I got 3 children. I got Stephen, Jefferson, and Atticus. So I got a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, and going to be 12-year-old, and then we got an 8-year-old. So yeah.
Wow.
I know.
All right. So I know I've been two of your children, Stephen and Garrett. No.
Stephen Jefferson were in your class last semester.
Yes. Stephen and Jefferson. By the way, I would advise you to tell them, although I have sent out a message, there is a 1,500 and under, which they might not even qualify for anymore, team that one of my other students, adult students, started, so that 1,500 and below in Lichess could have their own tournaments and compete and with people they know and like. So I don't know what their rating is. I think Chess Wizard's probably too high, but I don't know if your sons are too high yet.
Probably. I think they're over 1,500. I'd have to double check though. I haven't really looked at their stats, but I'm pretty sure Jefferson is at least, because I remember he was all excited because I think he broke like 1,600 at one point or something.
Nice.
He fell back down.
Yeah, if he, well, in my tournament he could play him, but he can't stay up this late. No, Ratchet, you're not taking up too much of my time. I love you guys, but I do have to, Saturdays is kind of like catch can, just fun. This Saturday, I think Sudaku's chess will be back, so I could do a hand to brain in Spanish with him one more time before school starts. And then once the school season starts, I'm thinking I might drop Saturdays and then write my books on Saturdays for those 2 hours. So Jordan and I always, our biggest decision to make is what do we work on tonight? How do we work together? So here's a crazy thing, Jordan. I've got tons of chess books. I know you have a bunch of chess books. I know you guys, chat, you have bunches of chess books. I have never found the chess book that tells you how to work with a partner, how to work with somebody on improving chess. Because that's something you and I struggle with all the time. Do we go over puzzles? Do we play each other games? Do we review each other's games? Do we do hand and brain? And not just for fun, do hand and brain for serious trying to understand how each other thinks. I liked that. We've done that. But I don't think there is anything, and Ratchet has 0 chess books. I don't think there's any book I've ever seen, or even guidelines on the internet, about how to work, how to team up with somebody and study together, although we know they do it all the time. Right?
Yeah, if you go on like chess.com or Lichess on the forums, I mean, it's like almost every week someone saying, hey, I'm looking for someone around this rating with to study with, or, whatever. I mean, people always are asking for partners that team up and, like get in the weeds, as they call it, with chess and practice certain openings and whatever, share ideas off each other. So,
yeah. I mean, we do it with tennis. You go find somebody to hit with and get better with. You do it with every sport, and to me, chess is a sport. So you would think we could, but we struggle all the time, you and I, about, what are we covering tonight, and what's the best way to do it?
You got your next book idea.
Well, I do have a book idea for chess, you mean, or do you mean for writing?
To write a book about how to,
study together
with others.
Right. Well, it would help if I knew how. If I knew
That's why we have to do it, so we get that, we kind of, figure out a thing that works, and, then we go, hey, this is what we did, it worked, and you guys should do it too.
There you go. Oh, maybe we could do that. That might work. Ratchet says study with probably means openings and training games. Ask Tony. I don't know who Tony is, but we can ask Tony once you tell me his name on here, on someplace here. Yes, Jams. Chess is a sport, in my opinion. It has all the qualities of a sport. I don't know why it's not. All right. So what Jordan and I did think we might talk about tonight was prepping, because we have the candidates tonight in about a half an hour. We could talk about the candidates tournament, how the players might need to prep differently, how you might play a Swiss online versus an arena online, and how do you play an over-the-board tournament. So some of you have played over the board, of course, but I don't know if any of you played in a tournament. I do know Selenia Hokai, who went and played in the National Open, had never played over the board. He'd only done online. And because of COVID and the Queen's Gambit and Karl Nakamura and Levi Rosman and Eric Rosen and Anna Rudolph and all of them that have been getting people interested in chess by ridiculous numbers, I think we have a whole bunch of people, and I've talked about this, they have no clue about the correct etiquette or rules for a tournament. But also the thing is that they haven't played in, they haven't played in tournaments. They don't know how to play in, they've never played in an over-the-board tournament.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair thing to discuss maybe right now. All right, so let's see, how can we go about this? So first of all, arena tournament. We could bring up and look at some arena games, but I think more likely what I want to do is look at our tournament that's coming up. And we had an arena tournament to get here, but now we have a World Under 1800 candidate tournament. And right now we only have 3 of the combatants signed up. So first of all, kudos to Noah. N.S. Kopik. Not only is he our first chatter tonight, but he has breached over 1800 and has disqualified himself from the candidates.
Whoa.
Yeah, he got he's over 1800 right now. So I'm quite proud of him. Great job. So that's who we expect to be playing. But Flavio and Bolt, they both have signed up for the team, but Flavio has not signed into the tournament. And other than Flavio, that's it. Now we also have Sudaku's chess might show up tonight, and he's qualified. And I think that's it. I don't think we had any other qualifiers. I think Noah was Chess Wizard is there also already. But yeah, so I only have Chess Wizard, LLNP, and M-Bolt signed up. So if there's only 3 of them, it's going to be a pretty quick tournament. It's going to be one, they're going to play each other once and we'll be done. But we are hoping for at least Flavio and or Sudakus to show up, so we might have a nice rounded 4. But it's going to be much more serious. They should take their time. It's still 10 plus 3, but they should take their time, and it's not a rush, right? It doesn't help you to finish your game early. Arenas, it benefits you to finish your game early, win or lose, because then you get more games in. But now it's wow. Yeah, it's time for them to get serious. So the Swiss style, and you can figure out your pairings in a Swiss on your own. So guys, as an example, right now, Chess Wizard is the highest rated, and then LLNP and M-Bolt. Now, it doesn't really matter at this point because there's only 3. They're going to end up playing, they're going to play 2 rounds. 2 rounds, 1 round, 2 round, 3. They should play 3 rounds, just it'll be a round robin. But if we get a 4th player, it'll be you take the bottom half and you wrap it up to the top. So let's say Flavio was the lowest rated. I know he's not. He should be probably the 2nd highest rated. But if Flavio were the lowest rated, then M-Bolt would play Chess Wizard first round, and Flavio would play LLNP the first round. So it's easy to do a Swiss. We usually do it on paper with cards. I still do it that way, although we have the software for it. But when you play a Swiss, you need to do as well as you can, but a loss matters. And so draws are not as bad as a loss, and of course you want to win. But yeah, it's just a little different attitude. And so prepping for tournaments over the board, A lot of it seems to be getting your openings down pat, deciding what you're going to play, and playing over the board, right? I mean, I think you and I need to get back to playing over the board.
Yeah, we gotta kind of work a schedule of what we need to do. Like I was telling you a couple of weeks ago, you need to get one, like a date. Say we're gonna have a tournament on this date, because then you're motivated to study, because you know I gotta play at this date, so I gotta get myself into shape.
Yeah, that's Sudaku said basically the same thing, that I should pick a tournament that I'm going to go to, and then make sure I sign up for it, and then show up for it. And it's like you got to prep for it.
Just say I'm going to do this.
Yep.
Yeah, and because sometimes that's what you need to help keep you dedicated and motivated in the interim. It's like even if you sign up something like 6 months in advance or more, or 8 months or something, you can say, hey, I got 8 months to get myself in shape because I'm going to this thing. If I'm in poor shape, it's just going to be a disaster. I'm just going to have to live with that. So if I don't want it to be a disaster, I got to focus and get going and study and all that.
No, it makes total sense, right? I mean, you gotta dedicate yourself, and you gotta be serious. And by picking the date and the time, it kind of forces you to do it. I like it.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay,
that's
so
why I think that a lot of things too, they make. You see it on the forums all the time. Hey, I'm playing in a tournament in 2 weeks. What should I do to prepare? It's like, well, your preparation was 5-6 months ago.
Yeah. The 2 weeks out, you might as well relax, learn how to meditate.
Yeah, like you're not going to do anything radical to change your game in 2 weeks like that. If anything, you'll actually hurt yourself because you'll burn yourself out going into the tournament.
Yep. King says we should do an under 2,000 now, because most of my viewers are over 1,800, which is a good thing. That means you guys got stronger, you're playing better, you got over 1,800. I know King got over 1,800, Noah got over 1,800. A lot of people have gotten over 1,800.
But are you 1,800 or 2,000?
Yeah, we're going to actually change our under 1,800, which means I got to go change all of my marketing. And I'm going to change it to an under 2,000 starting in August, King. We did talk about it. We're going to be doing that in August. So yes, we are going to do under 2,000, and we're going to and that'll still be lower than Ratchet, so he still can't play, and I still can't play, and Jordan, you probably can't play, right?
Which is a Rapid.
Yeah.
Rapid, I think I'm like 21. So
Yeah, that would make it tough. Ratchet says in blindfold he's not over 2,000, so he figures he could play blindfold. He played blindfold in our other one, so. Hey, Sudakus, thank you for the subscription. The Batman symbol, one of my favorites. Not just because it's the subscription, it's because it's the Batman symbol as I'm sporting today. I don't know if it's better to back up, or I guess I could back up. But anyway, I had to dress up, wear shirt and tie because it's the candidates tonight. So you're going to be able to stay around and help me analyze games?
I don't know. I'll have to see. It also depends on when my mosquitoes start coming out here, because then I get forced inside. Everyone's watching the Olympics, so.
Yeah, I was peeking at some Olympics myself. I'm a volleyball player, so I was watching some beach volleyball, some indoor volleyball. I'm a tennis player, so I was watching. I actually wasn't watching that. I was watching in Atlanta. They have some ATP tour prepping for the New York Open.
Okay.
So I was watching some of that. But yeah, on the Olympics, I'm a homer, right? As in a United States. So I'm watching all the United States highlights.
Right. United States players, see how they go. Yeah.
Greetings, Sudakus. Thank you for the subscription. Sudakus.
What do you think are the important things when you prepare for the tournaments? Because you did tournaments, before when you were at the airport stuff. So what did you do when you prepared for a tournament?
Yeah, that's a great.
Go in and kind of wing it.
Okay, so my last tournament was in 2003 or 2002. I can't remember. I can look it up. But my last tournament I played in a series tournament was 2002 or 2003. So we're getting close to 20 years. It's not. It's 17, 18 years. So when I prepped for that one, I just played. I don't think I did anything. I can't remember. I didn't read any other books. I wish I had had at the time the 300 most important problems book, because I know I played better after I studied that book, which is just a bunch of puzzles, right? But instead of just learning them, I was trying to memorize and learn the concepts of those openings. And so I think that turned out to be very useful, where for the most part, when I was, otherwise when I was studying, it really wasn't, I just played. I would go over my openings, make sure I remembered how my openings played, but because of my theory, and I can share it with you, but my theory about openings, I knew my openings inside and out. Now, I've become rusty as of now, but if I'm going to get serious again, I got to pick my openings and then study. Now, my theory of openings, which is tougher, by the way, now because everybody's playing online and there's all these databases and all these computer, you got all these, everybody has a chess computer. 20 years ago, no one had a chess computer except for the real geeky ones or the really serious players that would buy and spend like $200 to have a good chess computer that they had to load with the CDs, right?
Oh yeah, databases. Yeah.
Yeah, to have databases and to have an engine to play against to analyze your moves. So my theory was, even at that time, I was a major in the Air Force. I was full-time job, full-time family. I had 2 children, and I had a life. I had to do other things. So my theory was to play forced openings for white and black. So my concept was I would have to study 3 openings, and that's it. So I'd have a forced opening against e4. I'd have a forced opening against anything else they played, and I'd have a forced opening as white. I still believe in that theory, but I might change my openings, right? So my opening for white was the birds. I might change to the English. I toyed with the King's Indian attack because they pretty much can force it. Can't totally, but you can pretty much force it. And the nice thing is, with white, if you know it, again, if you know the opening better than your opponent, you can play pretty much anything. So, you could play the grob, even though that's probably the worst choice, right? You could play the orangutan, which isn't as bad as the grob. You could play the birds, which is extremely risky. Or you could play the English. But all those are forced that you're playing those openings from move 1. And black, whatever he does, he's playing your opening. And so you only have to study 1 opening as white and 2 openings as black. So that was my concept. Like I said.
I think when it depends too on your rating is where you're at too. Like when I played in the Chicago Open in 2011, which was like U1800, I played the King's Indian attack as my opening. And I did fairly well with it because I think a lot of players at that level were not yet good at it. They were more good at open positions, right? Roy Lopez, Italian, that's what everyone was playing. So they're used to those openings. So when you get like this close, slow build-up, they didn't know where to put the pieces, what was going to develop into it. They probably never even encountered it before. And so it threw a lot of people off. I mean, like after one game, the guy's like, what is that opening? Like, what is that? Like, it's like, oh, it's King's Indian attack. Never heard of it. I'm like, oh, Fisher played it live. Huh. I didn't know what to do with that. It was just, But so I think sometimes when you, at certain ratings, certain openings like that can give you an advantage because your opponent generally may not have faced that or be very good at those type of like concepts that they haven't reached that yet, right? Like lower level is like tactics, great. So when you get a closed position and it's a bunch of maneuvering and then it kind of explodes at some point, they're not sure what to do. They're like, I don't see any tactics. I don't know where to put my knight. Everything's closed up. Do I take the pawn? I'm not sure. Do I advance the pawn? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like you get some of those advantages sometimes where it's not, it's a sound opening, but it's not the common opening most people are used to type of playing. Like, hey, everyone plays Italian. Everyone knows what they're doing with that. Or everyone's studying the Roy Lopez or Sicilian or whatever. And then you get this and you're like, I don't know what this is. Or I haven't encountered very much. Or, I don't know remember the theory of it. So you can get an opening advantage just from that. Like you said, you know your opening. even if it's not objectively the best opening, sometimes you get an advantage just because of that, because they don't know how to refute it. So,
Correct.
there's a great way to refute this that I can, equalize. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I found that even when they found the best moves, they used up so much time finding those best moves and so much energy, and that's why I think of it as a sport. They also used up so much energy, so much adrenaline, that when they finally got to equal, and we battled off, and I'm not stressing at all because this is common. I know the moves. And so we get to like move 15, 20, 25, and it's even. They relax because they're like, oh, I made it. And their clock is lower, so that's going to create different stresses. But they also let up because they think they've achieved equality. And then now I'm the first time I'm like really super focused, and I'm playing hopefully good moves, and they don't play as well, right? Because they used up all of that adrenaline to get there.
Oh yeah, and it rattles people up. I mean, you're going in a tournament, you're blitzing off your moves initially, especially. They're going, I'm in the prep, I got to do something to get out of here, And then they might make a bad move just because they get psyched out and they're like, oh, I can't, So I'm going to make this weird looking move just because I got to get out of this prep. They're just going to mate me in, 15, 20 moves at this point.
Yep.
So sometimes even that, you get a psychological advantage. Even if it's just like, I know the first 8 moves, so I'm just going to rapidly rip these off. I don't need to think about them, and hey, it might kind of psych my opponent out a little bit, so why not?
Yeah, no, I agree. So I guess for me, prepping for a tournament, I'd be going over my opening repertoire. I'd be practicing that. Now I'd be doing tons of puzzles because we have puzzles, and moving from there. And the study again for me is always trying to find the smartest way to study. So what can I do? What's the smartest way I can study where I use the least effort and no wasted effort?
Right. Yeah. You want the effort you put in to get the maximum gain, and if possible, you want to put the least amount of effort because we're busy, we're adults, we're not, we don't have 40 hours every week to just sit down and get good chess. You get all these youngsters, they're 8 years old, they're running around every weekend playing all these tournaments, and have like a coach, and
yep.
We don't have that. We don't have that time. But I think that's it. And I think in tournaments, the biggest thing is, especially when you get older, you gotta plan ahead. Hey, I'm gonna go play in this tournament in 6 months, so I'm gonna figure out what my opening repertoire is. I'm gonna start working on that, get that done. Start, like you said, practicing, know it in and out. Feel comfortable with your lines, know the plans, look over grandmaster games with it. Just really feel confident in that.
Yep.
And like you said, puzzles. Hey, it's not binge puzzle. It's daily. 5 puzzles a day is much better than saying, oh, I sit down this weekend and I did puzzles for 2 hours. Your brain does better when you do a little bit over time. It grows and grows rather than just sit down for 2 hours and go, just throw everything at it, and then it's just mush and it's like throwing stuff at a wall, spaghetti at the wall. Okay, what's going to stick here? I don't know. We're just going to keep throwing spaghetti at it for an hour, and we'll see what happens,
Yep.
I think that's preparing, but I think a lot of people they do is they wait too long before they really sit down and study, and then it's like, oh, I got a couple weeks before my tournament, I really haven't, it's like, you got to plan and kind of space it out, write a thing out, what you want to achieve, what are you going to look for, what am I opening, BD does it. We don't have it. BD is lucky because you can go to players' profiles on BD type thing in their tournament and look at their past games. You can figure out, hey, these guys are playing in the tournament against me, type thing. And you can't do it necessarily like 6 months out, but within a couple weeks, and go, oh, these are the players. You can kind of look at, oh, I might be facing, and kind of look at their games. You'll certainly know who you're playing that day or the night before, so you can kind of look them up. So there's some prepping you can do on that, kind of more last minute, but at least get an idea. If you go, oh, they're going to play the Sicilian against me probably, so I need to run through my Sicilian lines before tomorrow, just kind of refresh that, because chances are we're going to play a Sicilian tomorrow, And we don't really get that luxury on the UFC compared to that. But I mean, I know players, they do that. They're in the team league that I'm part of. They'll feel like, yeah, I'm playing in a tournament next week, and I got they call it the lineup. I got my lineup of the opponents I'll probably face. So I'm going through their games, whatever, and this guy has some weird opening. I got to figure out what I'm going to do against that because that's not part of any of my repertoire. I've never faced that before. I got to look at this.
Yep, and that's where a coach or a partner can help you, right? They can look up those games for you, and you can rest, and then they can come up with lines even for you to play against that, knowing how you like to play, and just maybe you trust their analysis. So King, so I put a study in. I invited you to it. So if you go to Lead Chess, you can follow along, and we can work together. So I just created a new one. It's one that you contribute to. It's Jordan and I. And so as an example, Ratchet and King have been having a lively conversation. King says he doesn't like a certain setup. So I'm just going to, I want to make that setup for him. So I'm just going to put some pieces out here. And so he says he doesn't like this E4 D3 complex. So if we were coaching, if we were his coach, right, and we looked at it, let's get rid of that, we could say, all right, King, this is what you might run into. You know there's a guy that plays this way. We would come up with a system for you. But there's basics, and that's what I teach is principles, as Jordan knows. I like to teach basics and principles that you can find. So Jordan, how would you attack this type of a setup just using principles?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Sometimes it's better to just, if you encounter it, you got to deal with it. Or if you know they're going to play it, you make your opening tailored so that you don't allow it. Like, okay, I'm going to play an early D5 and trade a pawn up and get rid of it, But if you get in a situation, like you didn't know what they're going to play, and you find yourself like, oh man, they're doing this, you look for the weaknesses in it, right? So, okay, like D4 is obviously going to be a weak square. So I want to put a piece there.
By the way, feel free to do arrows and circles too.
Yeah. So okay. So right now I'm going to say the knight needs to get put there if I can. Right. That would be my ideal. So earlier the better, but it's definitely something I want to make sure I'm going to try to get my knight on that square because it's going to be a weak square for them. That's the benefit for you with their pawn structure that they set up. Right. So you get. I always view it as chess. There's always negatives and positives every setup you do. You got to just minimize the negatives, highlight the strengths. So in this case, what's their negative? It's that D4 square. So for me, that's my strength. I want to try to make that the center of that game. Make that square so important, and I already know I have the advantage in controlling that one. So I'm putting the knight on D4.
And I take it you're also going to look for ways to get another knight backing it up, so you can always keep a knight there.
Exactly. So that might be my thing too. I might not jump my knight there right away. I know I can put it there most any time, but I'm going to prepare that other knight to get ready to go on C6 first too. So when I put it there, I can throw the other knight on the other square and say, hey, if you ever trade knights on that square, I'm going to throw another one. You're going to trade your dog square bishop against it? Great. I'll just throw my other knight on there too. So I'm going to try to keep that knight on that square if I can. And if they trade their dark square bishop against that knight, great. That's their good bishop. So I'm fine with that. You go for that.
Right. So this is their good bishop because their pawns are on white. So our plan might involve not trading this bishop, happily trading this one, and sticking pieces on this outpost. Right? So, finding way, and we don't have to, and we can stay more fluid, right? We don't want to lock down our position and create the same weakness on our side. We want to basically stay fluid so that we can kick pieces out of here, but see if we can get our pieces, get rid of our bad, that's not our bad bishop. This might become our bad bishop. But in this situation, because this is already here, we might be looking to fianchetto to control this square. We're looking to control this square by putting a piece there and by attacking it. With always with an eye that these squares are also possibly good outposts. This is the best outpost.
And sometimes you have to move those alternatives. Sometimes they do a good job of trying to cover that one square, but you can move to one of those other lesser, I would call them important squares, but you can make them more important because it's weaker because their focus is all on that other square. So instead of trying to fight that one square, say, okay, let's say he neutralized it, great, but now there's this square I can attack, and he can't keep covering all of these adequately.
Right.
The other thing important that a lot of players forget is you don't want to put the pawn there. So you never want to capture with your pawn on the square, because then this pawn is safer. It's harder to attack. It's a backward pawn, but you can't really get at it. So you want that file open
Yes.
to attack that pawn.
Yes, I see a lot of beginners do that. Yep.
Yeah, once you put that pawn there, great. Now you just made this pawn a lot safer for your opponent. So instead of them kind of worried about that, it's going to be a lot harder to attack, if at all. So you want to avoid putting a pawn there. That's why, like, I may not jump this knight right away, because if, say, they put their knight here and just take it off, I'm going to recapture with that pawn. That's a victory for them. That's like, yay. Now I don't have to worry about my d3 pawn. Now I don't have to worry about them putting a piece on d4 square. I'm happy.
Yep. Yeah, the only time where it's okay taking here is if they had pushed the pawn and we took.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But as long as that pawn is here, we want to blockade it. And we talked as a stream, we've talked about blockade a little bit and the power of the blockade. Well, this is giving you a early opportunity, and it's a center. It's a center position, right? This is one of the 4 center squares. So if you can set up a blockade on the center, that's usually going to stead you well for long into the game. Not just
And like
the
you were
opening.
talking too, this idea is really good, because a lot of times in these positions, white always wants to try to get their knight on d5.
Yep.
So if you put your pawn on e6, you don't have to worry about it. It's never going to land on.
Yep, and the only question you have to deal with is, how am I going to, so one thing for black would be, what am I doing with my bishop? We kind of know that we want our knight, and these 3 pieces will be fighting for this square, but this one's a white bishop, a light square bishop. What are we going to do with him?
Yeah. So there's a lot of weird stuff, and you'll see it sometimes in a jam game. They play these weird moves that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's because they have an idea they're trying to get, like this light square bishop. Sometimes this could be like an option where you're getting the bishop on this diagonal. The whole reason for it is they're trying to say, I want to make this bishop as useful as I can, and if I have my pawn here, this bishop's not going to go this way, right? And if I put him on here, well, that's not going to go anywhere either.
Mm-hmm.
So they might try these weird-looking moves where it's like, well, what if I try to get some pressure on this diagonal, right? Because I still want to kind of key in on this pawn. So they put this bishop on a kind of weird-looking square, but sometimes that's because they know there's no other good square for that piece to go. So it's kind of like, well, this is the best I get with the setup I've chosen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So you'll see that once in a while where Jim's, and you're like, why is that? We're not supposed to put pieces on the edge like that. But it's like they have a long-term strategy of, well, I'm going to put my pawn here because I want to make sure this is taken care of, and the way my pieces are with maybe this pawn, this knight, I know this might be the best for my light square bishop. Because like we talked about before, I don't want to trade the light square bishops because I want them to have to worry about their light square bishop.
Yep.
Like, hey, make you work to try to get your bishop useful. Maybe it'll just be a dead bishop. That's even better.
And if your pawns are on dark squares, this is actually your good bishop. It's just you don't know where to. You have to still figure, because this one has a mission. You know the mission of this one. What we don't know is the mission of this one, which depends.
And that's another thing too. Sometimes maybe you could play this move quick on d6, and if they have the knight on f3, you can quickly jump it out and trade it off. Just because I'm going to play e6 now and it's closed, but I don't have to worry about my bad bishop anymore. I just traded it off. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and it's actually not the bad bishop. It's not the bad bishop, but I agree. Once we lock it in, it might as well be.
Right. Yeah. Well, right. Exactly. It's going to be a bad bishop once I play e6 or something. So it's like if I can slip it out early enough, real quick, trade it off, then I can play e6. I don't have to worry about it because I don't have to figure out, what do I do with my light square bishop? Hey, I got it off the board. I got rid of their knight too, which also makes d4 a weaker square for them because they have less pieces that can attack it.
Yep. And what's interesting is this might be one of those weird games where things like this, or like this, well, not this maybe, but this, pushing Harry early and creating tension over here that you can put that bishop to good use. And then you're still going to try to lock up the center with a piece here. That might be a nice plan. So what we're talking about is how do you work together? And so one way I think we would work together, any team, any pair, any group of people, is to say, hey, I run into this type of situation, this type of formation, and I get into trouble all the time. Here's 3 of my games where I didn't do well in this formation, and I give it to Jordan. It doesn't matter if Jordan's higher rated than me or not. What matters is that Jordan sees the board and sees the game differently than I do. All we need is to have a new perspective. And Jordan, I know from doing hand and brain, and that's why, believe it or not, I think hand and brain should be a requirement to finding a chess partner. So you do hand and brain together, and you find out, one, you like the way the other person thinks. Two, they don't think like you. So as an example, I've done hand and brain with Jordan, and I enjoy playing with Jordan, hand and brain. He sees things I don't. He thinks differently than I do. But when he explains his thoughts and what he's doing, I'm always like, I like that. That's cool. That's great. I like that. And so you inspired me to see things differently. So I think we pair up well. I don't know if you feel the same way about my analysis.
Yeah, and I think it's good to have the other side perspective on things, because sometimes you can take the same position, but even if you have the same general idea, you might even go about it differently. You know, and you might go, oh, so you think this and this and that, or like, well, oftentimes with us, I'll be like, well, I was thinking of this, and you'll be like, well, I was thinking of that.
Yes.
You know, and you're like, okay, so we're seeing it like completely different in terms of ideas of like you're going after here and you're going after there, and it's good to have those perspectives. Like you said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a stronger player. Sometimes even when we play, you go, okay, so maybe I can take that type of perspective and apply it in my thinking, so I can go, well, I know I think about this position like this, but I'm going to pause for a second. What if I took a different approach? If I couldn't play that idea, what's the other idea that I could come up with? What that I could play? What can I find? Because then that helps you stretch your brain and explore your opportunities and not get tunnel vision. You know, like, oh, I am always attacking the king in this position. That's just what I do. You know, it's like, well, wait, let's say you can't. What would you do then? You know?
Yeah, I think a fun part to that, I agree with you 100%. And I think a fun part of that is, you can't, my students do this, right? My older students do this. They'll be in the middle of a game, they'll be, oh man, this is difficult. And they actually say, they think to themselves, what would Tiberian do? You know,
exactly. Right.
And if I do this, will Tiberian get mad at me for this? I think we could do the same thing, right? I could say, okay, this is what I would do. This is where my brain is thinking. But like you said, I need to step back. And I wouldn't say to myself, how do I look at this differently? I would say, what would Jordan find? I really would. I would say, well, Jordan's always talking about this and this. Jordan's going to look, and then I would look and say, would Jordan be right? Because, right, I mean, I want that different perspective. And the key for me is that I like the way you think. If you told me, like in Hand and Brain, you said, oh, I was thinking this, and I go, what the heck? I don't like that at all. And that happened like 3 or 4 times where I'm going, I don't like those ideas at all. I probably would say we shouldn't. I don't want you as my second, right? As Ratchet said, you kind of like, or Suda. No, it looks like it was Ratchet.
Well, yeah, and that's, I think, the difference too. Is you have to have kind of you can think differently, but you have to be based on the same, I would say, like kind of like mindset, you know? Like if you're coming from, a good example would be if someone's just kind of like, I refuse to have open positions, right? I only play slow, closed chess. Well, that could be a problem for you if all you do is play open positions. That's what you love. Because their perspective doesn't mean anything to you. Because, like, I'm not going to play that way, though. Like,
yes.
I'm always going to play aggressive, tactical, open chess. That's what I like. That's what I play. So it's like, well, I wouldn't play that opening. Great, but that's the opening I'm going to play. So it's not going to help me, you know? Like.
Yep. Yep. Oh, okay, you two. And okay, Ratchet, you don't respect my thoughts enough? All right. Ratchet says, you would never say, I guess he's saying that, I would never say, what would Tiberian say or do? But that's okay, Ratchet. I don't usually think to myself, what would Ratchet do in this position? By the way, Ratchet, we do kind of get an idea of how you think. I know you said nobody thinks like you, but when I watch your stream and you walking through your thought process, it's quite interesting. You go, by the way, in my opinion, in my perspective, you go through many more options than I do. I find usually 2 or 3. I try to do 3 candidate moves, and I find those pretty quickly with the way I like to play. But sometimes I'm watching you and you're going through like 10 different choices. And I'm like, my gosh, wow, he's going through like every possible choice here. And so it's interesting. You do think differently than I do. But yeah, like I said, Jordan, I think you and I, that's why we might be able to figure this out. But I think maybe what we should be doing together is analyzing each other's games, doing the hand and brain for that legitimacy, but then also saying, okay, this is what I want to play, Jordan. I want you to prep against it. Not a lot. You can, it's like we used to say, use the book, right? You can keep the book open. But I want your help in figuring out, like, what move would bother you the most? What move annoys you? What move is that you don't care?
Right, yeah, and you can kind of tailor your opening, so it's like, oh man, I would hate faces. It's like an example, like, I hate this white pawn structure. It's like, hey, so for me, then I'm saying, all right, we need to figure a way that you can basically be comfortable against it. Even if you don't like it, when you face it, it doesn't bother you. It's kind of like, okay, I got to play against this. Well, this is how I play against it now, and I'm comfortable with the positions, and I make the best of it. Sometimes we have that. We get those games where it's like, oh, I don't want to play this type of opening. All right, what am I gonna do here? I mean, I face that all in the team leagues I play. I'll get a position, and I see it on the board. I'm going like, oh boy, this is gonna be a long morning. I gotta psych myself up here. Like I wanted to play this type of opening, and it's not gonna happen. So, all right, here we are. And you make the best of it. But being prepared, I think, is different from getting what you like, and I think that's where a lot of people get confused. You can be prepared for something for when you face it, and that you may not like it, but it helps you because instead of dreading it, you're like, okay, it's not my favorite, but I know what I'm doing, and I'm comfortable with the position.
Hey,
and
Jordan.
The best way is to beat it, because if you beating people,
tournament starts now.
Oh, all right.
Tournament just started, so I need to get the games up on the board.
You bet. What we got?
All right, so we have 2 games going. We have Sudaku's playing LLMP for the first game, and Bolt.
4 people.
Yep. Sudaku's signed up. Flavio didn't show up. So we got Sudaku's and LLMP, and we have Bolt and Chess Wizard. By the way, the winner today will play on Friday against Matt Bruce for the championship.
Okay.
So we have a return champion. It looks like he's still been playing. Like he hasn't not played, but yeah, he's gonna have to play for the. We're gonna actually have a match for the championship.
And the time control is what again? It was a
10 minutes and 3-second increment.
Okay. And that's for Friday as well.
Yes. Yeah, I keep it the same for the qualifier.
What is it Friday? What's it best of? Best of 7? Best of 3?
5.
Best of 5. All right.
Yeah. So the first one to get 3 points. Yes. Yeah, I think that was a free pawn for here, but this was afterwards. But now it's looking even worse. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, he's not protecting it at all, which is kind of iffy in my opinion. And he hasn't castled. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure. Still not protected, so I'm not sure. Anyway, and let's see how.
I like knight e7 though.
For,
knight e7, it protects the pawn. It also gets rid of that discovered check.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because this is in the way right now, right? Yeah, so it does actually protect for the moment because this would have to move. But yeah, whoa, he does it anyway. He does it anyway. What are we missing? Doesn't he just take?
He's probably going to try to recapture maybe with bishop c4 and then put the check on bishop c4 and then grab the knight back.
Doesn't it just go back though?
Yeah, he could probably put it back, yeah. But, well, yeah, he might have miscalculated on that, yeah.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
I think Ratchet might be right. It doesn't work. I think he had it earlier, but yeah, I didn't think he had it then. I think that's just a mistake. Let's see what Bolt. Let's see. We got some trades going on. Bolt said he only plays aggressive. He likes to play aggressive. For some reason, I have white at the bottom of this one, and black at the bottom here, and white at the bottom. I think we should keep them consistent, right? I mean, we should just keep them consistent somehow. Let's do that. There we go. Because I don't want it to look like I have favoritism for one player or the other. So this one looks pretty static. We do have double pawns for M-Bolt, but otherwise, this doesn't look like, right? There's no action here, really. Two knights against two bishops. If you're of that mind, goes with the pawn. Look at this. Look at this. Finding a way to create some amount of havoc.
There you go. He gets a piece back, right? C5.
Now he does, yeah, but he can still ruin it. I mean, he gets something out of it. Or he could take here.
Yeah, I think he's...
That gets him 2 pawns for the piece, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking he takes on C5.
I agree. Yeah, it is nice, though. Sudaku's found a way back. You know, question here, you know, did he have something better? Right? Because the discovered check wouldn't have meant anything. He could have just moved his king out of the way.
Yep.
So, you know, could he have gone anywhere? So he doesn't, or he could have used the bishop, right? So he couldn't go here, but he could have went here threatening the bishop. So it looks like he missed an opportunity. I think he might have been able to save the piece, save the pawn. You know, still be up the pawn. We'll have to wait and see. Here, trading going on Bolt's game. Yep, they got rid of one of the knights, and one of the bishop and the knight have been traded off. So endgames are really hard.
I like C5 for white. I mean, you got double pawns, so let's get rid of double pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like.
And then you win this pawn. Yeah, this seems a little overambitious, maybe. Now it seems like black.
If he doesn't have any other pieces in there, it's like you're pushing the H pawn down, but what you gonna get? You know?
Yeah, I'm thinking that you want to get this eventually, right? Because of what you just said. That would be annoying to free up the pieces. That would not be fun. Now, of course, you can let him take. You know, you don't. I'm pretty sure.
Right, exactly.
You can't take double your pawns and give away a free one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he can also push eventually down if he's not careful. Black can start pushing the pawn and creating some space.
Or he decided on this one instead of getting 2 pawns for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I would have went with the win 2 pawns for it. Oh, first he took the knight.
Yeah.
And then he took here. Okay. Yeah, I think I would have. Went for the 2 pawns.
Yep. Be greedy, right?
Yeah.
Get the center pawns out of the way.
Yeah, I would have been.
Get extra pawns, get rid of the center pawns.
Yes, material is even. We do have a backward D pawn. So that's going to tell interestingly for the game. And another game, look at this. Both games are 2 bishops versus 2 knights. And it's white with the bishops and black with the knights. Hey, checkmate. Welcome. So that's pretty interesting. And that was that just a free pawn? Yeah, sneaky free pawn.
Yep.
Sneaky free
White
pawn.
thought he could play mate, but the knight protects.
Yes, sneaky free pawn. Nicely done. Black found that, so he gets a pawn out of it. I don't know why you pushed this pawn. Wow. Why? You know, why invite this? That's beautiful alignment. Why invite it at all? That I don't get. I don't like that at all. So now I think you kind of go back to here, right?
I think that. Yeah.
Yeah, because now he has 2 on it, and that'll give you that one back.
He's gonna lose his pawn back probably though, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why you pushed it. This pawn was beautiful. This pawn made this bishop dead. But, you know, and I talk about this all the time. One of the principles is don't help your opponent improve their position.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened.
Pieces get better by moves you make like that, yeah.
Yep, he totally helped White improve his position. And totally, this bishop had no place to go, and he totally...
They want clocks, right?
Say again? Oh, thank you. Good call, guys. There you go.
G6. Now that could be bad.
Yeah, G6 is risky, very risky, because you're letting him in, right? But
Now you have really weak dark squares on your king.
but you can push. I mean, you have the knight, you'll have the queen. You pretty much got to trade off here, I think.
So this is kind of going where we talked about earlier with clock, kind of like clock management.
Yep.
Saying how I'm bad at. So we got what, 6 minutes each side, right?
Yep.
This is where you should be taking a couple minutes, making sure that you're making the best moves you can find.
Oh, what happened here? The bishop got traded off. Okay, so, wow. Okay. So push,
Crazy stuff.
decide the castle, and pushed again, and then won a pawn. Yep, just flat out won a pawn.
Now, could he put it on C8 though, right? Instead of D5, could he just put the? I mean, it looks ugly, but
Yeah, I don't like that. I think that was bad. But, I mean, was this pawn hanging? No, it wasn't. Yeah, no, I think that's a definite mistake. I think the knight should have, like you said, from here, shouldn't have come here.
or even G6. I guess
Yeah.
he could even go to G6.
He had G6.
But
He actually had F5. Don't know if it's any good, but he had it. And he had C8. Yeah, I think G6 probably would have been better, but this just loses a pawn by force. And then it's going to lose this pawn too. So yeah, it's like, why did you give away? Didn't take it, but why are you giving away candy? So I think he's.
did not take that pawn.
Yeah, I think he just made mistakes of giving away candy here.
Yeah, he didn't like that. He wanted to keep the center pawn. Actually, smart move, keeping that line there, because those pawns are going to be deadly. That B7 pawn is, he can take it at some point. He wants to keep the C pawn. And I don't know where I want to put the dark square bishop though yet for white. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he saw if he took, then knight takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And-
that's a smart move. Keeping those connected pawns in the center. I mean, that's almost an endgame win. I mean, if you take all the other pieces away, that's going to be tough for black to stop.
Yeah, just not good center control play here. Let's see here. Don't know how we got there, but okay. So we did get this pawn eventually. That knight did some traveling. So when he took, the knight forked. So he had to trade. He took back with the knight, had to, because he would have lost the queen. Now he's threatening mate. And so now he's threatening, and that's good protection. And now we have 3 pieces against 3 pieces. But white has no more pieces to throw at this pawn.
Right.
But you can't push the pawn because, well, no, actually, there's no checkmate. It's going to be interesting. He has no more pieces to throw at it, and so now black, hopefully, for black's sake, can try to get his other piece, his rook, to get some kind of play. Right, like maybe
I'm
here.
wondering if white can try something with C5 and try to keep pushing.
Again, that's why I think you have to do this. I think you have to block it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one choice, and then this is the only other way to try to get any play over there, because he's got all of his pieces already hitting F6.
Yeah.
Yep, I think
The
black.
other thing, I wonder if white can wheel his queen to F5.
Whoa.
I mean, H4.
Yeah, I missed all this.
Oh, okay. Yep, there you go. So
I missed
now
all of
you can
that.
play G4. Now you can play G4. Ooh, you missed that one. Looks like G4 looked interesting to me. With the queen on H4.
Yeah, but does the queen get in? Doesn't the queen get in then by hitting this pawn? I guess you can come up. I don't know. Do you want to? Do you need to?
No, I meant when the queen was on H4. Play G4.
Oh yeah, here. No,
Oh, it's like
no. This. You'd have to show me because I don't see it. Here, let's see. LMP is trying to trade off. Trying to stay alive. And look at this move. He's still giving this away. He's daring him to take there. Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Yeah.
Wow.
No,
That queen has no squares. That queen has no place to go. And he's lower on time. Queen has no place to go and he's low on time. Comparatively, anyway.
yeah. I think he has rook b8, and it's looking ugly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he has any other choice, though. I mean, that at least slows down. But then this rook gets
Now
into...
this is really awkward, too, because...
Rook gets onto the 7th.
Yeah. I'm thinking rook on the 7th, queen on f7. I
Whoa.
mean, it's...
Yeah, queen here.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to get...
He must have
it's gonna
heard.
get tough.
And he's still giving this away.
Now, here, white needs to take that pawn. I mean, really, just break it open.
Yeah,
Because
this
then
one.
the c pawn just advances. c6, c7. I mean, it just
Yeah.
cascades.
Yeah, this is a beautiful position. I think black's in trouble that game. All right, back to this one. And we haven't, and black hasn't found a way out of this yet. Hasn't decided what he's going to do. He's kind of cramped, but at least, you know, he still has his pawns at least.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be great for him if he could find, maybe get it here. Rook here, and then, but then it'd be blocking the queen. So you can't even trade off the rook because it'll block the queen.
Yeah, he's really, white's done a great job of making black's pieces stuck. Kind of like
Yep.
the other game. Black's
Yep.
pieces just stuck.
Yep.
It's just, you know, where are we moving? Where are we going to go? I think actually the king might need to go to G7 just
Yes.
before, get the rook on F7 and, you know.
Yep. Yep. That would help.
And if I'm white here, I'm looking at H6 for my queen and infiltrating before black gets time to put his king.
Yeah, it's funny because if he goes there, then I'm thinking the knight comes over, but the knight can't because then it's still you'd have to
Then
lose
the
your
rook
queen.
takes on F6. And
Yeah. Well, you'd have to give up your queen for the rook and the bishop,
Yep. Yep.
and that would become a very interesting game. This one is black is trying to find ways to fight back. I love that. He did finally take the pawn like you suggested. And now he's trying to, yeah, this really doesn't, you know, he needed a way to get over here.
So I'm looking to see if the bishop takes the knight. I can't do it yet.
Can't take there.
I'm playing the C6 and I can't quite yet make it work.
This is very interesting.
I like the rook on E7. I'm just trying to find a way to move my pawns down.
Up, and you got your wish. You got your wish here.
All right, let's see what happens. I want to see how black responds to it.
Now he could wait to do this.
Yeah.
Until there's an attack.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's trouble. I think that's big trouble.
Yeah, check first, right? We check. King goes down. Rook takes. Knight takes.
No, I don't think
King
rook.
goes down.
I don't think king can go
Queen.
down. I don't think
What?
king. I don't think king can afford to go down. Can it? You drop this one.
Yeah, I don't think it can. But it's checked, and the knight comes over. But then F6 is captured. So the knight can't go to G7, or we take the. Yep, we check. And then we're going to go down to F8, and it's
Yeah.
a world of hurt. Black's got a really sticky position.
Some very good tactical games going on.
Yeah, I love it.
I do
Looks
like.
on G6. So what do we have here? We go what? Rook F7. Make the queen do something once we get out of that, and then maybe can advance. Nope, can't yet advance. Let's see. I 6 I can take, right? Queen, rook to f7, right? Wherever the queen goes, bishop takes pawn, right?
No, I don't think so. Just take back.
Right. So okay. So yeah. So if the queen goes to g8,
Had to.
stops it.
Had to.
That stops it. Okay. All right. Good. So you got that. So then my next. Ooh, it's close. Gotta find that. It's just one move. It's like the
And black is down on time. Yeah, I think you're.
Whoa.
Ratchet like rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, game over. So
Yes, that could work.
rook take. Well, that's before. Now I don't know what's going to happen right now, but
Right.
that was before we had rook takes. Would have ended it.
Yep.
I think you're back to here again to try to survive. But he's down to 10 seconds. Oh, at least he, you know, last time he played, he forgot the clock altogether.
Yeah. This is the hard part, though. When you get tough positions, this is why it's so hard. It's so much easier to attack than defend.
Yes. Yes, and that's why if you keep attacking, you'll usually get the advantage and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
If he can get that queen off of this 7th rank like that, then he can maybe get his queen out and he can start looking for perpetuals. I don't think that's worth it. Now you gotta go back. He's gonna gain 3 seconds, but now what? Yeah, see? Troubles.
And D7's coming. On D7.
Well, not yet. I'd say here. I think here he had a chance. I mean, he gets the check. He can possibly get perpetual. I think this was the move. He had no checks when the rook wasn't. When the rook was here. When the rook was on f8, he had no. White had no checks, and then he would have checks. I think that would have given him chances. Come on, might as well throw one in there. And unfortunately, he has no others. Never give up, never surrender. Yep, good job. All right, let's see how the bolt game is finishing up. Okay, let's go back to here because this was interesting.
Oh, that was a change.
Whoa! I messed up, sorry. Let me go back to the game. All right. I want to see what happened here. We missed a whole lot. A lot of excitement. Okay. So queen came in. We knew this. And he went down and went back up. Took. And somehow he let him out. I don't know how he... I don't know...
The queen! He forgot the queen was hanging.
Did he miss the queen altogether?
White missed the queen. When the knight took the rook, the queen, I think, was hanging.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That was why it's a winning move, but you missed... Yeah.
He missed it.
Yep.
He missed it. Went for the check instead.
Yep. That was the winning idea. I was like, how did black get out of that?
Look at this. Now it's one of those games again. Pass pawns, big advantage, but can you do it? Can you finish it? Wow. That's pretty interesting. I think it's I don't think it should be. Well, no, this is wow. Good game, you guys. Good game, Sudakus. Good game, LLNP. So black is getting his own pass pawns, and time is fleeting. Look at this. More free candy. Oh, he's going to have like 4 pass pawns versus 2. Rook against bishop. Now black's winning somehow. Black is winning somehow.
Now he just got his king to safety, and then he's just...
How is black winning this? How did black find a way to be winning? Good move. Didn't open up, right? You might have thought, oh, look at this. That doesn't do it. Gives away his only piece. I mean, at most he's going to get us a draw now.
Yeah, it's not going to be a draw.
Look, he has no checks.
Yeah, he has no checks.
He has no checks.
Black's circling mate, possibly, too, if he's not careful. The rook on the h-file and the queen.
Yeah. Trying to get a queen trade.
Now he has to lose his other pawn. Oh, he's trying to trade queens. Okay.
Hey, he's up a whole rook. He's up a rook to nothing. Wow, what a turnaround. And he had it. Both had him. Both had him when you looked at the other move, right? Both had him.
Yep.
Dead to rights.
Wow.
This
really good comeback there.
Yeah, but hey, he's low on time too. If he does an LLMP and forget the clock is running, he could lose this game. All he has to do is forget the clock is running, and he'll lose this game, right? Because he's low on time. Not lower, but all right. I thought this was simpler. I thought the rook move would be rook to e7 would have been much simpler.
It's principles, right?
But he wins, and he wins, and he wins.
These are fine. It's
all right. Next round will start in 1 minute. Good games, guys. Great games. Great games.
Great games, guys. I'm gonna head out because I'm getting eaten mosquitoes out here, and yeah.
All right, Jordan. Well, I think we have an idea of what to do together. So
yeah.
let's start sharing our games with each other. Or I can go find your games, and let's try that. Let's see if we can help each other see how we think differently.
I'll send you a link to my league games because I figure those are the more higher quality games rather than just random games.
You know, you could put those league games. I guess you'd have to put them into a study. You can export them as PGN if you're not using lead chess for that.
Right. Like I said, I could put them on lead chess study. I'll just invite you and I'll just put all my league games in there as I play them, and then.
Sounds good. All right, guys. 1 second. Second round. Ding. All right, I want to flip that. So we want to see Chess Wizard. Oh, come on now. We want to see Chess Wizard at the bottom. Okay, and then the other game is LLMP. All right, we have LLMP and Chess Wizard. I'm going to move to my lecture screen and make sure that we still give Noah credit. All right, guys, let's see what we got here. I'm all by myself now. So LLMP playing M-Bolt, trying to, if he wins and then he beats Chess Wizard, you never know. You never know. These two, whoever wins this one will be in first place, and then he has to just win the last game, and he'll be the candidate. Yeah, Rook takes F6 at that point was definitely a winning move. Yeah, and Bolt had the queen. Bolt had the queen. That should have been game. And he just, I don't know if he moved too fast, if he was running out of time, but he ended up not getting the queen. Probably could have won a pawn because I'm going to guess he would have taken this way. Oh, he can't take. He's still pinned. So he would have had to chase first. Wow, complicated. As you guys know, I try not to speak out loud in case they're still on stream, even though there is a delay, so chances are they won't hear it in time. I'll draw arrows and stuff, so that way you can understand what I'm thinking without them understanding what I'm thinking. Kind of like this better. I like playing this game of chase this piece, but chose not to. Not the greatest pawn structure in the world. Gonna need to get rid of that sooner or later. Here, or does he ignore it? No, I can't ignore it. Well, you could. You could. You could ignore it, but Exciting here. Oh, I could turn back on music. I turned off the music because I didn't want it to overshadow Jordan's thoughts and talking. Oh, thank you. I changed to my lecture screen and I forgot the clocks. And there's the world champion, chessmate 442 waiting. Ah, this is very serious chess going on here. LLMP allowed? Did he allow? Did he? No, he did not allow it. 1, 2, 3 versus 2. He did not allow it. He wins the pawn. He just takes the pawn. Oh, he took with the knight. I don't understand people sometimes, but I guess that way the knight can't get here and attack the pawn. That's going to be my guess at why he took with the knight, because now the knight can't get there. Ah, man. Queen blunder on Monday. On Monday? What queen blunder was that on Monday? I missed it, maybe. Alright, so what does he do? Does he shore it up? Does he trade it off? Think trading it off is not bad? Then you want to protect this. Do you want to protect that? Shouldn't be too hard to protect though. Not the best place, not the place I wanted it. I wanted it here and let this bishop roam. Bishop gets to come back, protect here, and do everything for you, but it looks like he's going to have to end up here because of the situation. Oh, you blundered your queen, and your opponent didn't notice. And it still bothers you. Let's go to the chess wizard game. Let's go back to the chess wizard game. This is a very important game. These are the two winners playing for the chance to play for the championship. Very steady. Didn't want the pawn. It's not poisoned. It's not poisoned. You don't have a pawn over here to attack. I would have thought he would have taken and backed out and been a happy camper. Did not choose to do so. Not sure why. Not sure why. This doesn't look bad. Don't like that. But it's playable. Alright, so LLMP, this game is still... Oh, LLMP's thinking. He's spending a lot of time on this move. A lot of time on this. I wonder what he must be contemplating some sacrifice or something. Yep, he's just going to give him back the pawn. He's decided to give him back the pawn. I don't understand. Because this one will be hanging afterwards. I don't understand. Maybe he's planning on pushing it. By the way, if this gets taken, there's that. So that might be his thought. I like it. I like it. Oh, we did see this move that I kind of anticipated. I did anticipate it. So, let's see what happened here. Took with the knight, took with the pawn, took with the bishop. And now you could chase the bishop and win this one. Yes, sir. Almost has to take here. Almost has to take there. Just to get something worthwhile. This was a tricky little trappy move. He was thinking about that alignment the whole time, I bet. Yep, told you. Now you take though. Because here you get to take again. And if he comes here, then you get to back up, and you're still in good shape. Here we go. The fireworks are going to start. I would just take here. Personally, I would just take there. This has no real fear. I have no real fear. Yep, that's what I would have done. This is an interesting one. Bolt and LLMP. I'm liking it. Alright, Chess Wizard said, yep, I'm coming up and attacking. So you could take here first if you want, but otherwise, nope. Okay. This is the game, guys, right here. There's going to be one more game after this. which still might play, right? I mean, even the winner could then lose, and it could be a tie-break issue. So we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so he does take with the knight. Takes back with the bishop. He might end up with double pawns on the king side, but I don't think it'll matter at this point. That king is going to become active because you're getting into the endgame anyway. Yep, this doesn't matter, so it's going to be interesting. Sudakus is black on this game. I had him backwards in my head. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Yep, I don't know what the thinking was going on there. And then we take here, black takes here, and it's going to be an interesting situation. King is going to end up here, and you got potential here, and you got potential here. Still a very even game. If I took the time, I might be able to figure out who I thought was winning, but right now I don't know. Looks interesting. Looks interesting. You got moves like this. But the bishop's hanging. Wait, one thing at a time. Gotta deal with the bishop. Gotta deal with the bishop. Have to deal with the bishop. Now he has a whole free piece. If you realize he has a free piece, this is an easy move to find, I think. Now, you do get the check, but you'd end up with two rooks, and two rooks, a bishop, a knight, and a bishop. Ha! Against a queen and a knight. I think you're winning pretty easily. I think he just needs to do this and say that it's a good day. You're doing well. Just take the money and run. Now you could do this. You could do that. That works too. That works too. That's actually pretty nice. That's pretty nice. On the take, you still got a bishop holding it, and it's going to be a fork. That's a nice move, guys. I was thinking here. To be honest. I was thinking here. But that's a nice move. That's a nice move. This game is interesting. This game looks like we're going to have our classic endgame about the same amount of time. 5.5 minutes to 6 minutes and change. So this one's very close. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I wasn't looking at that yet, but I was worried about. But I mean, just basically, you would have had to be willing to give up the queen for two rooks, and as we know, most people aren't willing to do that at this level. So he could have figured, I'll give up the queen for the two rooks, but this is better. This breaks the connection, and is much more dynamic. I think this is much better. I think this is a much better choice. Going to trade off pieces, and then the bishop can move safely. Yeah, in a time scramble, you'll take the rooks, and you would have had two rooks and two minor pieces advantage. And he's still ahead. All right, so now what? Just clean up now. He just has to be clean and not take too much time getting there. I really like the knight going here, by the way. I mean, he has no threats. Any threats he could deal with. I mean, seriously. He could do a multitude of things here. This actually keeps the queen out of here. Allows his queen to become active. I mean, he just has to. Okay, he has to not do what he's done before, which is forget he has a clock running, and find good moves. But yeah, I was happy with this move too. Now he's got to be a little careful that he's going to get this attack and that attack. But I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't think. I mean, you could just say that's okay. I'll protect. You can have that pawn, and then my bishop can go do other stuff. I think he's fine. But he is going to lose material a little bit, giving back. But he's way ahead in material. Oh my gosh, look at this endgame. Look at this endgame. The Sudakus has more time. Sudakus is ahead on the clock. I see a free pawn that he decided, he is wanting to take, but he has to first protect this one. Okay, now we'll see this. I feel confident we're going to see this take right here. And if he pushes, he's going to push. So I'm expecting this take. Haven't seen it. Whoa! What happened? What happened? Free candy chose not to take. Why didn't white take? Why didn't white take? Okay, guys. I'm befuddled. I don't understand why white didn't take the free candy. And now he's wasting clock cycles. A lot of cycles, guys. I told you. Look at this. I called it, guys. I totally called that. And he did trade queens. Alright, so now white's advantage is these outside pawns, black's is these. And he's still protecting and attacking. I think he's doing okay. But he missed a free pawn. I don't get it. You can push, you can't push, you just take. You can push. You can push. Alright, it's going to be an endgame. This is an interesting endgame. You want to protect it from the front? No. We want to protect it from the rear. That's how you play. Now you could push it. And then this becomes the new target. Which you get to, you do have time. You can't do that push. It just takes here. Interesting. Interesting. What now, brown cow? Do we go for this anyway? Let him take. I mean, I think he messed up. He's losing ground here. No, I agree. I don't think he played it correctly. I think white missed step. Again, I think white should have just pushed this pawn. I think it's easier to protect the pawns without pushing them. You wait to the last minute to push, and then you know which one to push. And I don't think he pushed the right one, and now he's paying for it. And he's low on time. He's going to spend too much time trying to figure it out. All right. So white's trying to pile up. What happened to this move? That was the move. Guys, that was the move. I don't know why that move didn't happen. Yeah, I don't know about this move. Why not do that? Chase him away. You'd only have one square, and then you could bring this over, and you'd have a free free file to play on. Why not do that move? I don't know what I'm missing. Why he didn't do that move. And now I'm still expecting that. Okay, I've heard pieces, a lot of trading going on. Let's see what happened. Decided to go after that pawn. Wrong pawn, big time. Now he's got a pass pawn. He just could have pushed and forced, he would have gotten rid of this pawn. Now he's playing downhill. Oh, he does have a passer though. He does have a passer. But he's going to get over there and protect it. Will he get there in time? Will he get there in time? Endgame study, guys. Endgame study. We did get this move in. So black is trying to get another piece in here, and white finally gets this move in, and now he's threatening mate. So this was just a bad move, because now white's threatening mate. Don't know how that happened. Let's see what happened. Oh, the king came a-running? Let's see. Whoa! Why didn't he block? Okay, right here, rook here, stops the pawn. You get a check. King moves. If he queens, you take. Black takes back, and you queen. He had a queen. He could have had a queen without his opponent having a queen. He could have had a queen, and his opponent would have no queen. This is still extremely volatile. But white had a chance to stop the pawn and do his damage. And I'm surprised he didn't go here. I'm totally surprised he didn't go there. He's getting time back on the clock. It's a woolly game. And like I said, oh, what's this? What is that? That's free. Oh, it's not free candy. But what is that all about? Yeah, I think he missed. I think easier is this: attacking the queen, attacking the pawn twice, and you're again in heaven, right? I mean, this should have been a not a totally easy move to find, but not a hard move to find. I mean, you're still threatening mates, and you're chasing the queen again, and so then the queen can go back or here. It can't even go here. Queen could have went there. And then you could have went there with a discovery attack. Oh, you know what? He's got it anyway. He's got the discovery attack anyway. Yeah, wherever the queen went, the rook still comes here, and he still loses the queen. Beautiful, beautiful job, LLMP, and he's up on time. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh! I missed this. What in the world? Let's see. That's a checkmate. Wow. Wow. I thought Sudokus had this, and then Chess Wizard found a way. He came back. Oh my gosh. Wow. What a game. What a game. We got some games to go over on Wednesday, which I'm probably not going to do. But man, we some games. Yeah, finally he gets the knight to e5 in, which is good. And he's just got a preponderance of material now. I mean, he can go here and attack the knight, the rook, and then find his way in, and the game's over. Just has to find his way in. And he has to do it on the clock. So again, I liked here better, because then it gave him a diagonal. Here he doesn't have a diagonal. He has no way to get in, but he's going to be able to trade the knight, probably. Wow. All right. So, exciting ending. Wow. That was an endgame study. Big time endgame study. And I think black definitely had the advantage. It just made a minor slip. Yeah. Yeah, made a slip there. Let that pass pawn get through. Had to go chase the pass pawn earlier. And I definitely thought that white made a mistake with the white made a mistake, or actually white had the win late, but I thought he made a mistake early, giving up so many pawns. Yeah, he gave up both of his passed pawns on the queen side. I thought that was just a blunder. All right, what do we have here? We have ins for the queen. Yeah, we have ins for the queen. We do have forks, but it's like, yeah, that's okay, let's trade everything. He doesn't even have to take. He could just go here and find mates. And now he just gets in, right? I think now he just gets in. I think he just gets in. He has too much material. Nope, he's not going in. Yeah, there's increment, so he's got time. Bolt's in time trouble again, though, but so is LLMP normally. So our last matchup will be LLMP and Sudokus, I believe. I think that, no, it'll be LLMP and Chess Wizard. And LLMP has a good record against Chess Wizard. And we'll have Bolt versus Sudokus, which Sudokus has a good record against Bolt. Interesting choices, guys. Again, here would have been simpler. Now you just take, right, please? I would think simplification now. Now it's just keep simplifying. Keep the pressure on. And remember that you have a clock running. No, I don't know that I have. Just gotta remember he's got a running clock so he doesn't flag. Okay. Will we see a stalemate? Hopefully not. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And even if I'm not flagging, it's just the pressure. You get too much pressure on me. Tell you what, you better watch out for not getting a stalemate. Oh, now he takes the last pawn, and you got to worry about a stalemate anyway. Notice he went with the rook, something a little safer. Probably a very good choice. There you go. All right, guys, 1 minute break. Chess Wizard is in the lead with 2. Sudakus and LMP have 1. Bolt has 0, but Bolt can be a spoiler big time. Bolt can be a spoiler big time. All he has to do is win his next game. And LLMP, even at 1, he has a chance. I believe he'll be playing. Let's see. Yep, he'll be playing Chess Wizard, and Bolt will be playing Sudakus. If LLMP beats Chess Wizard and Bolt loses to Sudakus, Sudakus will have 2 wins, one of them over LLMP, and Chess Wizard would have, and LLMP would have 2 wins, one over Chess Wizard. It'll be like a 3-way tie for first. I have no idea how they would do the tie break. I think with a 3-way tie for first, I'd almost want to just do a quick playoff, but I don't know. Here we go, guys. Last round. I want to flip that. Come on, stop. There we go. And then we want to have Sudakus' game. What? Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I was seeing something odd. Okay. Alright, good. So we had Chess Wizard playing LLMP, playing the birds, and it looks like Chess Wizard tried to play the Froms, and LMP said we're going to play the King's Gambit instead. And Sudakus is also playing the King's Gambit. Okay, guys, we have 2 King's Gambits. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, the performance though, the performance might be different, but the head-to-head will be the same. So LLMP and Sudakus, they're both playing King's Gambits. Bolt definitely plays the King's Gambit different than LLMP. Look at this guy. This is exciting. 2 King's Gambits. 2 King's Gambit. It's as if we said the theme for this tournament will be the King's Gambit, because that's what we ended up with. We've ended up with 2 King's Gambits. I kind of like the way LLMP is playing it. I need to work on my King's Gambit too. Sudakus, well, he's playing a King's Gambit. So he doesn't have to. So this move is suspect. This move is very suspect. But, gotta watch out. This has got to come. This is mandatory. It might be an early exit. Oh yeah, that was mandatory. What now, brown cow? This is mandatory. Takes. It's like a fried liver, kind of this disjointed fried liver because the pawn's gone. The pawn's gone. The fried liver pawn is gone. He could just go here and then come here. Maybe better. But he's dropping this. But he gets this one. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so lively. Oh, and this one got cleaned up too. Man, I want to see that. Look at this game. Oh my goodness. So, do we come back here to protect the pawn? I would think so. I think that would be the simplest move. You could also castle and give away the pawn. Probably not the best move. Probably not the best move. Come here. This pawn is hard to protect. I just think you go here. Wow. LLMP, Sudokus. We've got two lively... And he did take. And he did take. And he did take. Oh my goodness. These games are just exciting. I'm out of water too. I hope I don't have to hydrate anytime soon. So Sudokus has beaten both times they've played on Lichess. On Lichess. They might have played on chess.com that we don't know about. Can't castle, but he can bring the rook over to trade it off. You get tempo gaining moves like that though. You get tempo gaining moves like that. So this is going to be exciting. And okay, nice move. I just wish it didn't take as long. But that's me because, you know, I'm always thinking about coaching my brother in some form or another. Not that I should be or shouldn't be, it's just what it is. So now that's hanging, but he might really want to do that to try to get the rook. See, he wants to get the rook here. He does want to get the rook there. Yeah, I don't know. I think you just castle. I think you just castle. I think that's the simplest. He chooses not to. He chooses not to. He chases the knight instead. All right, good game. Let's see what happens over here. I called it again, guys. So bishop to d7, I think was too slow, because now you get this attack, and now you win the bishop. And I don't see that you get anything for it. You just flat out win a bishop. Sudoku's nice tactic with the discovered attack on the queen. Maybe he's toying with this to keep him from castling on top. There he is. Keeps him from castling, then takes the bishop. And that frees the queen. So this could get very messy. But I like the in-between move. Now, why not? Right? Why not keep him from castling? Because he was going to castle and try to get out of trouble. Now he can't castle. That's a brilliant move. Very good move. Now let's see. Pushed, knight went back, dropped the pawn. Still hasn't castled. And it looks to me like Chess Wizard missed this opportunity. But he did have a protection, but then he just pushes. And he would have been... Chess Wizard missed a big up right here. Big up. And now it's blocking that diagonal. So I think he's safe now. So he can move the bishop and develop it. He can even go with check. And then he can get his rook into the game. He's looking good. Just got to remember time. Time is his enemy. All right, so he moved over the first move, and then he took the bishop, and now he moved over again, which means this rook is out of the game. So now Sudoku's chess he's up a whole piece, right? So he's up the piece that he won, the bishop, and now he's up a rook. So he's up the rook and the bishop. Hey, Jay Dietrich. How you doing? Well, let me know. If you make it before Friday, then whoever comes in second will play for the championship with the one that came in first. They'll have a one-on-one match. And that's okay. It happened to Ratchet, actually. It actually happened to Ratchet. I like it when you guys get over the mark. And then we'll be moving up to 2,000 next time. Okay, so this looks like a total blunder. And what am I missing? There was nothing there, was there? Nope. No reason to move it. Yeah, you just gave it back. Just gave back free candy. Wow. Wow. We just said he was up 2 pieces. The piece on the board and the rook that was trapped. He gave back the piece on the board. Wow. Not used to our buddy Sudakus making those kind of moves. This is interesting. How do we get here? Okay, bishop there. Bishop here attacking the pawn instead of going with check. Moves over, and he gets the castle queenside. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a good game. Good, lively game. He can take down the champ, and then it'll be the guy in lead. The guy in the lead, he could take him down. And that would make for an interesting situation. But he's got to watch his clock. I fear for him. The clock is his enemy, and he's going to get in trouble with the clock. He notoriously gets in trouble with the clock. I think he's getting in trouble with the clock right now. He needs to play a little faster. He needs to just find good moves. Don't worry about finding the perfect move. So I like this move out. He should be thinking right now, what is he doing next? He knew he was going to take back. He knew he was going to take back, so he should know the next one. The leaderboard is, but it's Chess Wizard. Chess Wizard's in the lead, then LLMP, Sudaku's Chess, and M-Bolt. But Chess Wizard wins. He should be the outright winner because he'll have 3 wins. He will be undefeated. Really, King? Who are you playing? Who are you playing? Alright, let's see. Rook on H to E1. Why not here? Why not here for a discovered attack? He knows discovered attacks. Maybe you want to control this square. Okay, let's say he let's say that was the reason, because he wanted to control that square. Okay, we got Chess Wizards going for his pass pawn mania again. Will he get a pass pawn? See, I don't like this, and he didn't have to. He could have. Anyway, don't worry about it. Let's see. What does he do? The threat isn't really much of a threat, so he should play on with whatever plan he wants to carry out. And he's got troubles though. He's looking good overall, but Sudaku's found a way to win back some more material. That knight is in trouble. Found a way to win back more material. Good job, Sudakus. Doesn't really have any good squares to go to. The queen doesn't have anything to attack, so he's got back the piece. He got back the piece he gave away. How exactly did that happen? Developed the bishop, and we don't know why this is here. And that looks like free candy, but it's not. It's a pinned piece, and it was voluntarily pinned. It was voluntarily pinned. Not a good idea. All right. LLMP traded bishops and then moved up to protect this way. Interesting. This pawn is going to be very useful to stop him from getting a pass pawn. And maybe he's looking at doubling up and getting his rooks on the 7th. Rooks on the 7th would be nice. Also, this pawn is weak. Now, he could have went here too, and he still can, to hit that pawn again. And then he can hit that pawn again. But I think he didn't like this knight, I think, for some reason. You guys bragging on yourselves? What? You won against the National Master? Was he playing blindfold was he playing blindfold and a simul? Or was it like 2-0 or 1+0? Was it one of those 1+0 games? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. You're beating a National Master. Tell me about it. Wow, checkmate once beat an IM without odds. Woohoo, look at you guys go. You guys are awesome. You guys are so much better. Look at this. Bolt is trying to get counterplay. Bolt is trying to get counterplay. Looking for mates. Sudakus says, I'll have none of that. Looking for counterplay. Tell you, Bolt ain't giving up. Bolt is trying to find counterplay. And what's happening here? Now he finally pushed the king over with check. Okay, I'm still thinking you need to double up the rooks, but you know, that's just me. Okay, he wanted to give a way for his king to get out because he was worried about moving the knight and getting mated eventually. Now that's a beautiful move because now that attacks that, you can actually protect it multitude of ways. And this is very drawish. Oh, okay. Immediate attack. Immediate attack. Do you protect? Do you protect? You can't protect this way. He takes, you take, you're forked. So you got to protect this way, and then if he pushes through, then you go after him. So you got to protect this way. Don't really have a choice. That was a nice move by Chess Wizard. Because I like this. I thought this was good. Blockading, but that other pawn on the other side is going to destroy that blockade. Alright, Sudakus actually has more time than his opponent, so he should be okay. But he's got the bishop under attack, and he's attacking both. And so now if he says go away to the knight, it looks like he should win the bishop. And it looks like these guys have traded pieces, making mistakes, giving pieces back to each other the whole game. And it looks like it's going to happen, feasibly going to happen again. Yeah, I think it's going to happen again. Well, he does this. White does have this threatening the bishop. And if you take, we take. Okay. But then the rook hangs. Nope. It still works. Wow. Wow. Bolt hat. All he has to do is, hey, remove the defender. Remove the defender. This is hilarious. You removed the defender. You didn't remove the defender. You had a chance to win back the piece, guys. Alright, we did get this, and then we got this. So we can get another piece in here if he wants. He can also move the bishop away and just say, nope, I won't play that game and give you my pawn. I don't think he wants to give him the pawn. That's what I anticipated. Then this move doesn't really help, because then he gets to move over here, and we get a new target. Very, very interesting game, guys. Very interesting. In this one, yeah, I think he missed an opportunity to win back the piece. Yeah, there you go. So what kind of odds did you give the IM? Oh, rapid. But what was the time? You should give us a link to that game. Alright, let's see. What happened here? Anything? He just takes. Oh, because he allowed him to double up, and he didn't do anything about it. And so then he, yep. Now, he does have an intermezzo move. He can go here and take him off the back rank. So then his bishop is no longer under attack. That might be worth it by itself. He could trade everything. Does that work? Take. Nope. Can't even trade everything. Would have been nice if he could just trade everything away. Why here? Why not here with a tempo? I wonder why not here with tempo. Oh, because he has a fork. Because he has a fork. Good reason. Yep, that's what I was worried about. But I guess you can throw this one in now. But it is going to be problematic, my folks, my friends. Maybe here. Protect the square. Protect the square. Yep, I think the king needs to get into this game. He's got 59 seconds. He's on trouble on time. So, if Chess Wizard wins this game, Chess Wizard will be playing for the championship of the world. The World Championship. Great job, Chess Wizard. Wow. And what is his rating? 60. He's got no chance of getting over 1800 before Friday. Pretty exciting. Move this king here. I would have moved up here because that would have stopped that move. It's hard to find it though when you're low on time. Can't go here. You get pinned. I mean, you get forked. I mean, you could. I mean, you could have went there. Let him fork him. Take. Yeah, you're still in trouble. Down a piece with no hope in sight. Wow. Chess Wizard is going to, if he doesn't blunder somehow miraculously, he should win this. You have little faith. It's ye. It's yay. Yeah, never mind. I know you get mad when I correct your spelling. But yes, ye of little faith. Now he's going to get rid of the bishop. Sudakus will win his game. He lost that. Oh, that'll be an exciting game to go over. The Sudakus and Chess Wizard game that was the big hurdle. That was the hardest game Chess Wizard had to find a way out of, and he did. He did find a way out of it. Yeah, this leads to mate. That's pretty good. Knight takes, and then we're threatening checkmate, and I don't think there's any way to stop it. Yep, and now this is mate. Very good. Very good. Very good game, guys. Great games, guys. So that means that we definitely have Chess Wizard, no matter what happens in this last game with Sudakus. Chess Wizard, I gotta give him some props here. Let's do some applauding here, man. And Chess Wizard, it may not even be on stream because he usually gives me a sound alert of Hello Darkness, my old friend. Yes, exactly, Ratchet. 3 a.m. typing is not quality typing. Totally agree. All right, let's see what happens here. This king is got no escape squares. You know, there's back rank threats going on. Maybe Bolt can find a way to get a back rank mate threat going. Who knows? Decides to trade off rooks. Probably not a good time for trading off rooks. By the way, Sudaku's had this, which would have clarified. Still can do it, by the way. Can do it right now. Okay. Hey, checkmate if you get to 1800, of whoever came in second, which right now looks like it'll be Sudaku's. If Sudaku's comes in second, then those two, Sudaku's and Chess Wizard, will have a rematch for the World Championship. But if you don't have 1800, then you will play. So you kind of got to get there. Well, if you get there anytime before the match, you get disqualified, so it doesn't matter. But I might not have time to have them arranged, so we could just do it another day if we have to. But I love it. Bolt is not giving up. Bolt is a fighter, guys. Bolt is a fighter. I love his spirit. He's low on, he's down to 8 seconds. 8 seconds. Then you get to be the champion, and then you lose it immediately. You're not the champion the next time. Yeah. Yep. You get to win the tournament, but then you jump over. All right, guys. Great finish, everybody. Great finish. It's funny, I gotta pay for my own sounds. Great job, great games. I'm gonna have fun looking over these games, guys. These are gonna be great games to review. I wasn't gonna stream on Wednesday, but Friday is the championship. So, good job, all of you. All of you played well. Bolt, you didn't have a win today, but you fought so hard. You had some good tactical attacks. If this was a shorter game, you might have won some of those because those attacks were pretty scary. Nice job. Nice job. Sudakus, excellent job. Chess Wizard, congratulations. Nope. I don't know why it says next round. It's a 3-round. Oh, Why is it doing that? It shouldn't be any more rounds. Nope. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, it said 3 of 7. I had made it 3 rounds, but it knew it. It knew it was done. Ah, yeah, Blundering Knights for pseudo positions. No, that was great. Chess Wizard, great job. Chess Wizard, your performance was 2109. 2109. That's amazing. Sure, definitely, Ratchet. Definitely. I like looking at your guys' games. All right, guys. Awesome. No, Bolt. He has to actually be 2109, not do a 2109 performance. Good job, everybody. LLMP, good job of coming in third. Sudaku's second place. That battle. Wow, what a game for us to go over. What a great end game to go over. You and Chess Wizard played. All right. So Friday at 8:45, we will have Chess Wizard versus Checkmate 422 or 442. Now, warning, Sudakus, you might end up playing for the championship if Checkmate goes over 1800. But if you're not there, we'll just have to reschedule. Wow. Yeah, I can't be for free. Yeah, he just gave away that bishop. I don't know why. All right. But yeah, so you might still play for the championship if Checkmate gets over 1800 before Friday at 8:45 p.m. So I will see you guys Wednesday. It's 12:30 instead of 11 o'clock. I have to go teach a class on something other than chess for work. So Wednesday is my last Wednesday. It'll be at 12:30. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. I'm either going to host the Sudaku's Tiny Dancer. I might just host his site and take a break. I might commentate on the games for that site, but I would love to go over some of these games. I might just have to save them for after the championship on Friday. But wow, some good games, guys. Some exciting games. So I'm expecting to see some. Hey, thanks for the follow, Blank Minder. Appreciate it. All right, so Wednesday, 12:30. It's on my schedule. If you check the schedule and the about, you'll see that I moved it for Wednesday. Just so you know, starting in August, next week, I won't be doing Wednesday at 11. I'll be doing Friday at 11. And instead of doing instead of doing Friday nights, I'll be doing Wednesday nights. I'm flipping the two because they decided that we could come back to work. So I will not be working remotely on Wednesday. I'll be working in the office on Wednesday, so I can't stream. But on Friday, I'll be working remotely. I'm working remotely on Fridays anyway from now on. So Fridays at lunch, I can stream for my lunch hour. So Fridays will be my lunch hour. Wednesdays will be evenings. So we will move Tuesdays to Mondays. Sheesh, everything is going to change in August, guys. But I might still have a little bit more tennis to go. But Tuesdays are going to go to Mondays. Wednesdays are going to go to Fridays. Fridays are going to go to Wednesdays. And Sundays stay the same. And Saturdays. So Sunday we're still doing one-on-one lessons. I'm hoping to do gym Sudakus. Gym, we were going to do this past Sunday, but I had to travel, take my family on a trip. So this coming Sunday, I'm hoping to get Jim his lesson at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I think you guys, Sudakus, I don't know if you knew it, but you and LLMP both of you got into a King's Gambit. You had the exact same position on the board for after the first 2 or 3 moves. Yeah, it was pretty wild. You both had King's Gambits. So we have, and you won yours. LMP dropped his. He did good battle, but he just slipped. And yeah, Chess Wizard undefeated today. Excellent job, Chess Wizard. You didn't even play your theme song. I don't know what to do. I'll play your theme song for you since you went undefeated today. Great job. Great job. All right, guys. I will see you all on Wednesday at 12:30. But please check out Sudakus' tournament. There's his tournament information. Sign up for that one. Have some fun. Ratchet, if you're around, it's a little early. You're not up so late. You could play in that one, and Ratchet, you'd be right up there with all them strong players. Yeah, that Ninja King escape. You had the queen, Bolt. You had the queen. Bolt, you had that game. You had that game. You let his king. You had him. You had him. You need to go look at that game, Bolt. Yeah, you missed his. Oh, I got to show it to you. See now, I was gonna just say we're done, but I got to show you this, Bolt, because I'm gonna depress you for the whole night, right? I don't mean to, but I got to show you because we all watched that game and we were like, Bolt's got him destroyed. Bolt, you had him tied in knots, if I remember correctly. Bolt is white, so let's flip the board. You had Chess Wizard tied in knots, right? Coming up. If I remember correctly. Yeah, look at this. Oh, Bolt, you had him. Bolt, right here. This move, his king has to go back. You could have taken here, or you could have taken here, right? So watch, Bolt, because you had him, baby. Check, here, check, here, and now look at that x-ray. Look at that alignment. You had 1:53. Look at this. You take. Good move. He takes. Guess what? And that was his only move. He had to take. You did perfect. You took. He had to take. Otherwise, right? He has no legal moves. He has to take. And then you win the queen. He doesn't even have this check. You had him. Game over. We were all watching and we're like, oh yeah, this is over. Yeah, he's got him. This game is over. Game is totally over. There's no chance. And you did it. Perfect. And you took here. Oh yeah, but you had the queen. You had the free queen. I mean, you had a queen, and it would have been you would have had a queen against the rook. Woo, baby! This pawn will fall. The whole everything will fall eventually. Maybe you might want to have gone here, but so what? I don't think it matters. I think you could have went anywhere you wanted to. Yeah, you had him, buddy. You had the queen. Botez Gambit declined. But it wasn't even a Botez Gambit. Because a Botez Gambit, they give away the queen, right, by mistake. This was a forced combo where the queen drops. That was a forced combo, and you took here too fast. 1:50 to find that move. Yeah, good. I like it. You can laugh, Bolt. That's why I like you, man. I like your attitude. Guys, you can check out Bolt, by the way. You should check out Bolt. Yeah, he streams not only chess, he plays some other shoot 'em games, first-person shooters. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Let me find us someone to check out. But yeah, Bolt, you missed it. You had it. You had that game. You had Chess Wizard. That would have, I don't know what would have happened, because you would have beaten Chess Wizard. He might have tilted and not beaten Sudaku's, which was his next game. But you gave him confidence. He beat Sudaku's, which Sudaku's had him also. I think Chess Wizard was losing maybe all 3 games, because I think LLMP had him too. Chess Wizard, you might have been losing all 3 games. That's how close it was. All right, Jerpuff's on. I like Jerpuff. I like hitting her up. But if Bolt is actually going to stay on and do chess, are you staying on, Bolt? Yeah. Yes. Your Venmo account, make sure you get your pay. Yeah, definitely. I think he was the master of comebacks tonight. We knew he was losing against Bolt, right? I mean, clearly. There was right there. He was down a queen for a rook. We knew he was, I'm pretty sure he was losing against Sudaku's. When we looked at that, I think he made some mistakes, and he was losing against Sudaku's. And then I got to check, but he might have been losing against LLMP also. I thought for a while there LLMP had a better position. So yeah, he might have been losing against everybody. Yeah, he was streaming chess. Now I don't know. Bolt, are you going to keep streaming chess? All right, if you're gonna play a bit, let's go hang out with our buddy. You make him feel good, guys, because you know he was close, so we can make him feel good about his game, because you know he was so close. He was so close. Guys, go check out Bolt. Bolt, when you get done, if Jerpuff is on, please give her a raid. You know we like Jerpuff too. All right, Bolt. We'll see you later. We'll see you all later. Have a great night.